This is Meadow Street, and I've basically been coming each week and just hanging out with her. Her and Eliza, who's just here. So as you can see, she's just chewing her cud. She's not really stressed, which is really, really important for her to feel that, particularly as we're going to be living together. So it's about looking at how food's become so cheap and how we've started to devalue it. I have to say, this morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock, I was feeling a little bit trepidatious, but now it feels really good. The cows are chewing the cud.
Oh, we were just wandering around Bristol.
Yeah, we were looking for an ice cream.
Yeah, and then we just saw this and we just wandered over. Just thought, wonder what it was.
They always see a cow with a half
Yeah.
What do you think this is here?
I actually don't know.
No
what this
idea.
is.
I'm going to be living here with these cows. I'm going to be looking after them, and I'm going to be here 24/7. Agriculture is one of the largest contributors to climate change, biodiversity loss, displacement of local and indigenous peoples. It has a massive responsibility and a massive impact on our planet. So therefore I believe we have to have farming systems which sustain the planet without kind of costing the earth, essentially.
We were just talking about this over a pint. It's natural to eat meat, but not necessarily to breed it for us. So if it was, back in the day just hunting, it's kind of okay. But the fact that we have to breed it just to have enough seems a bit excessive.
Nessie has brought these cows, Alicia and Meadow Street, here as an artwork, but also as a provocation, I think, to make us think about where our food comes from.
So the Milking Parlour came about because I felt we were really disconnected to our food. We go into the supermarket, in general we don't really think about where our food comes from, who are the people that make it, what are all the processes involved, the environmental implications, the welfare implications. I'm not saying we shouldn't have cows or we shouldn't have dairy, but I think we have to just accept and recognise exactly how much methane these wonderful animals produce, how much water they consume.
Livestock production, including dairy, is the greatest threat to the planet. You can pick almost any environmental problem that you can think of and you will find livestock at the heart of it. Deforestation, spreading deserts, nitrogen pollution, the growth of antibiotic superbugs, loss of species, biodiversity. Livestock production is either the main or one of the main causes of all these things, and of course, global warming.
Nessie's idea was to look at climate change and our environmental impacts through the lens of a very common, normal daily product such as milk. So she spent 18 months with a series of organic farmers, getting to know them, the processes by which they create the milk that we drink, and also getting to know the cows.
Animal welfare people want to close the show down. The PETA people want to close it down. But I feel really disappointed that they're not willing to let the show happen and come and use it as a debate space. And shutting it down is like, how is that going to help? The cows wouldn't be giving milk if they weren't happy.
I'm here because I think this is wrong on every level. First of all, I'm against animal commodification of any type, so I'm against dairy, obviously, but I also think it's wrong to bring two cows into the city centre and park them next to a noisy nightclub that's banging out music till 4:30 in the morning.
shows there is drinking and there's fireworks and there's noise. Also to say that these cows, they live in a tin barn, and I don't know if you've ever been in a tin barn in the middle of a storm, but it is one of the loudest things. Farms are noisy, hectic places. I started this, I've made my bed, kind of quite uncomfortable straw on it. I'm basically lying in it now.
Is it a good way to provoke debate about the origin of our food? Keeping 2 cows close to the biggest nightclub in Bristol, is that the way to do it, or is it absurd? 0500 280 8091, email vine@bbc.co.uk.
I think it's quite good because it's a busy area. There's a lot of people that walk through here just because it's by the harbour side. It's quite a nice area, so it attracts a lot of people. So I think it's quite a good way to grab some attention.
It's a bit annoying because I feel like I need to almost keep showing everyone how calm the cows are, because I think I just want to get over the animal welfare thing and move on to the actual discussions and debates.
I think veganism is a response to a fundamental disconnect from our food system and the people who produce our food. The problem is an industrialised food system, so if you've got intensively reared livestock and they are being fed corn and wheat and soya, then absolutely it is not okay.
At the end of the day, it comes down to economics. And if the consumer is prepared to pay more for their milk, milk can be produced in a more friendly and more sustainable way.
That it's being talked about? Yes, that's a positive thing. I'm glad people are talking about it finally, because it's been kept in the dark for so many years. Of course there's other ways to engage, of course there are. Everyone's going to do it in their own way, right? And, this is her way. Whatever, I don't agree with it, so I'm here today to hand people a leaflet with an alternative viewpoint.
You don't engage massive amounts of people through fear and through terror and through forecasting the apocalypse. You engage people through hope. If people can come along and feel hopeful and excited and there's possibility, that's how real change happens. Our neoliberal capitalist system wants us to feel totally apathetic, totally useless, so that we are just stuck in this monolith of governments and institutions that we can't get out of. We can. Everything changes. I genuinely believe that people care. And my greatest fear, actually, of all of this was that people wouldn't give a fuck, and they do.